Hey guys, I'm Tom the Tech Chap, and this is the new Huawei Mate 30 Pro. First impressions? Well, it's an absolutely incredible phone, although I have had to elbow a few journalists out the way to make this video. So I hope you like it, and it would mean a lot if you could hit that like and subscribe button below. So, as you know, President Trump, in all his wisdom, put Huawei on a blacklist, essentially banning US companies, including Google, from working with them. And the Mate 30 is the first phone to be affected by this. The bottom line is, the Mate 30 series does not have Google apps or services. I'll get into all of that and what it actually means for using the Mate 30 in a second. But first, let me show you some of the cool new features on the Mate 30 Pro. And first up, we've got this new design with a Halo Ring camera module, which my partner said reminded her of a washing machine, although Huawei say it's inspired by professional DSLR cameras. Then we've got this, an 88-degree curving horizon display. It's like Vivo's waterfall display, and it's beautiful, although I was a bit worried about palm rejection issues, but actually in the couple of hours I've had with it, I didn't seem to have any problems. Now, as the YouTuber cliche goes, it does feel good in the hand. The curved screen with smooth rounded corners and the taller 18.4:9 aspect ratio means it's a little bit narrower than, say, the Note 10 Plus, so overall it's actually incredibly comfortable to hold. And weighing 198 grams, it really doesn't feel too big at all. There's no headphone jack, but it does support dual SIM cards, even on the 5G model actually, which is quite rare, plus we get IP68 water resistance. But looking around the phone, have you noticed that there's something missing? We've got the power button on the right, but that's it, and nothing on the left. So what about the volume buttons? Well, actually instead we have new virtual touch sensitive buttons. Double tap the edge and the volume rocker will pop up on screen, and then you can swipe up or down. To be honest though, I think I hate it. I mean, it reminds me of the pressure-sensitive buttons on the HTC U12, and while I have only had a couple of hours with it, and maybe I was doing it wrong, but it just didn't seem very reliable, and for me it's often useful to just feel the volume buttons while it's in my pocket. I might be able to get used to this, but right now I'm not sure about that. Speaking of invisible features though, there's also no earpiece speaker. Instead, the sound comes from the screen. It's an acoustic display, and you can actually feel it vibrate a little bit near the top of the screen. It was pretty hard to get a sense of sound quality in this hands-on area, but it's a neat feature, and Sony does something similar with their OLED TVs. As well as the speaker, we also have an upgraded in-screen fingerprint reader as well, and also improved 3D face unlocking from the camera in the notch. There's 6 colors in total: black, space silver, cosmic purple, which I think is my favorite, and emerald green. Plus there's 2 vegan leather editions in orange and green. Let's talk about that screen though. It's a 6.53-inch Flex OLED with those curved edges and a slightly smaller notch than last year. It's 2400 by 1176, it supports DCI P3 HDR, and along with a new color engine, Huawei say it gives off 25% less harmful blue light, so it won't keep you awake as long at night. Like the Note 10 Plus though, it's a little disappointing it's still only 60Hz on the Mate 30. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but once you use it on the OnePlus 7 Pro, you do notice the difference. Now inside the Mate 30 Pro we have Huawei's own Kirin 990 processor. This is the first phone to use it, and Huawei promised 22% faster CPU and 39% faster GPU performance over last year's 980. And paired with Android 10 and EMUI 10 software, I have to say this feels so much faster to use, even than the P30 Pro earlier this year. EMUI 10 also brings dark mode, which also helps improve battery I'm told, and a new magazine-inspired UI. It's a bit gimmicky, well, very gimmicky, but there's also new air gestures for scrolling down pages and capturing screenshots. It's more of a party trick, I think. I don't know how often I'd actually use that. The Kirin 990 also has 5G built in. There's 4G and 5G variants of the Mate 30 Pro, and actually Huawei are saying that the 5G on this will be up to 50% faster than the Note 10 Plus that uses a Qualcomm modem. Alongside the processor, we have 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, although that is expandable with Huawei's own nano memory cards. And powering everything is a 4500 mAh battery. That's up from 4200 on the Mate 20. This should easily get you a day and a half of battery. Plus there's the 40-watt supercharger, 27-watt wireless charging, and there's also a next-gen version of their wireless reverse charging, which is now 3 times faster. So yeah, this is a bit of a beast when it comes to battery. And finally, before we talk about you-know-what, let me show you around the new quad camera setup, and there's a lot going on here. There's a 40-megapixel main lens, a 40-megapixel ultra-wide, and an 8-megapixel telephoto, plus a time-of-flight sensor that helps with depth and AR stuff. Versus the P30 Pro, the ultrawide now has double the megapixels, up from 20, but more interestingly, they've actually switched to a telephoto rather than a periscope lens. So now we get 3 times rather than 5 times optical zoom. I really can't wait to test this camera out properly, and I'm really excited to see what the new dual sensors can do. As far as I know, it's the only phone to have more than one camera sensor, and they're also much bigger than most phones, so that should help let in more light and give us even better photos. Huawei's also put a lot of effort into video. We can now shoot 4K 60, as well as real-time bokeh video like the Note 10's Live Focus, although it seems to work better here. And with dual OIS and AIS stabilization, video should be super smooth. So that's all well and good, but actually I'm most excited about the new slow motion video. Most phones can shoot 240 FPS and some can do super slow 960 FPS, but the Mate 30 Pro can do 7680 FPS. That's just ridiculous. My first thought would be it's going to look terrible, but just look at this. Granted, we're in pretty good studio lighting, but it's insanely good. Of course it doesn't have to be that slow, you can adjust it, but there's nothing else out there that can do this. We also get a 32 megapixel front selfie camera, and along with a 3D depth sensor, Huawei say we should get much better looking selfies, although video is still limited to 1080p. So there's a ton of really cool features on the Mate 30, and I absolutely would have wanted to switch to this as my everyday phone. But there's a problem, a big fat one. There's no Google Play services. No YouTube, no Gmail, no Maps, no Play Store. It is running Android 10, but it's those Google services and apps that we're missing out on. You can still download APKs and sideload them like you would on, say, the Amazon Fire tablets, but really, who's going to want to do that? These demo units are the Chinese models of the phone, so there may be some differences between this and the final European ones, but you just can't get away from the absence of all those Google apps. So in place of Google's mobile services, or GMS, we now have Huawei mobile services, HMS, with their own Huawei app gallery instead of the Play Store. Essentially, they're building their own alternative to the Google Play Store and actually investing $1 billion to help fund development of apps, create growth, and make it something usable. This will take time though, and while Huawei do have a lot of resources to pull it off, you know what happened to the Amazon Fire phone and Microsoft Windows phones that didn't have good app support. Of course, things may change, and who knows what Trump will do tomorrow, but unless you live in China, right now, I'm not sure anyone should buy this. It is coming out though, and we even have European prices, so I'm told it'll be coming out in stages, starting with Asia Pacific in the next month, and then rolling out in some European countries. But it's all a bit vague. Now make sure you do hit that subscribe button, as I'll have a full review and camera comparisons coming soon, but for now, it's an awesome phone with 4 cameras, but 0 Google apps. And I reckon that's going to be a deal breaker, but we'll have to wait and see. But what do you think of the Mate 30 and the future of Huawei? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.